if you can get lots and lots of experience failing, if you can really get over that, that's where the genius shows up. You just got to be able to say, oh, that didn't work. Got to keep it moving. And so...
All right, everybody. Welcome back to the Black Experience.
Woohoo.
Welcome back to yet another episode in Season 3. Happy 2024. I know I've said this a million times, but I'll continue to say it, at least until February. That's kind of what I do, you know what I mean? But it is an exciting time, y'all, and I am back here in the studio, and today I've got a very, very special guest with me today. I have someone who is such a big influence here at Western, especially with the Black Student Union when I was on the board and with other clubs. She has a huge influence in the work she does. She's a well-known face here in the city of Bellingham, in fact. So without further ado, let's bring up Dr. Sislena.
Thank you, Armias. I'm so excited to be here. I'm really excited to be here. Third season, and I was just talking to you about how magnetic you are, and if you just show up, people will come. And so I'm just excited to be a part of whatever you're doing.
Yeah. Absolutely. Yeah. And thank you for taking the time. Y'all, I'll give y'all a little insight. Yeah. Sislena is coming back from back-to-back meetings, and she is just... in and out between meetings and rooms and buildings. So we really appreciate you taking the time to sit down here and kind of give us a little scoop about you.
I know, but that's kind of what happens when you are at the beginning of a new year. Like, we're in the middle of the academic year, but the beginning of the new year. Yeah. So we're coming off this break. Right? That was really long, and I got rest and relaxation, and everybody's now trying to get it in. So it's back to back.
It's grind season now.
It's grind.
Right back into
That's
it.
Right.
How was your break particularly?
It was good. I had a really good time, hung out with the boys, hung out on the East Coast, hung out in the Caribbean with family. So got back to Maryland. That was fun. My boys would never travel ever if they didn't have to, because they just like to cocoon in whatever man cave they can find. But we did Maryland, and then we went to Jamaica, and I have family there. My dad's family is from Jamaica, but I spent most of my time in Negril. Shout out Negril Treehouse. But my family is from literally the very middle of the island, Clarendon, which is a parish that is not very popular. It's not, it doesn't have all the fancy smancy attractions, but it's home, and it's kind of in the middle of the Blue Mountains and all that good stuff. Wow. So we had a good time.
Wow. Sounds like a very warm Christmas break.
Hot. It was good.
Super hot.
It was hot. It was good. It was really good. Yeah, I had to come back to the cold and rainy, but I'm holding in my head the 80-degree weather and the sunshine. It was beautiful.
Yeah.
It's beautiful.
I bet. Yeah. I bet. Jamaica is definitely on my bucket list after graduation.
You gotta go.
Yeah. Kingston. Maybe if I see Usain Bolt there,
you
know
might.
What I mean?
You come back on come to the Mobay side.
To
right?
the Mobay side.
That's right. Mobay and the grill. There Kingston, it's cool and all, but a little rough.
But Clarendon
is boring.
It's boring.
Yeah.
But it's home.
It's home. Yeah.
There we go.
Yeah.
There we go.
We'll take it. We will take it.
Sislena, I'm curious. A lot of my friends, when it's around this time, they write New Year's resolution lists.
Ooh.
To me, I think that's a scam.
Yeah.
I don't like it.
Yeah.
I think you could write a New Year's resolution list any time of the year. Are you a fan of it?
So I used to write New Year's resolutions. I don't anymore. One of the things we did is in our leadership team meeting today was talked about intentions. Like, what is your intention for the year? Which I think is a very cloaked way of saying we want to set New Year's resolutions, but it just felt a little different. It was like, what are you grateful for, and what are your intentions?
Right.
I don't do resolutions because they do kind of feel like a setup. Like, you want to lose 10 pounds every year forever. Right? And then by February, you're like, wait, it's Valentine's Day.
sure, I should be
need
going to the gym
chocolate.
or something.
Right,
Yeah.
right. So, commerce has got us all figured out about how to get us off our game. I just think you show up every day with gratitude and you do the best that you can. And when the clock strikes whatever it strikes and you cross over into a new year, you just continue being a good person and doing all the really good things that you set out to do. So
Yeah.
I typically don't, but that doesn't mean that I don't think about ways that I can be better.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because I definitely think, like, you could reflect on a year.
Absolutely.
And be like, not just in your personal life, too, and just
Yep.
overall in general, and be like, man, I really do hope this year is
Yeah.
a better year than last year.
Yeah, right. Because it's like a marker too, right? It's
Yeah.
a way to mark time.
Exactly.
And so when you think about the things that you want to get accomplished, January to December is a good way to mark time.
Yeah.
And that's kind of
That's
how
how
I
it
think
is.
about it. Yeah.
Yes. So I know you kind of dived in just now a little bit about your background, but if you
Yeah.
want to just highlight a little bit where you're from originally,
Yep.
and what that journey coming to Western looked like.
Okay. I don't know how much time we have, but
Take all the time you need. All the time you need.
So I was born in New York, White Plains, New York, which is in Westchester County. And I spent time growing up with mom and dad, and I think, just having just talked about in the grill in Jamaica, I didn't realize that I was bilingual until I left home, because my father would speak, and friends that didn't grow up with me would say, "What did your dad say?"
Right.
Because he spoke patois.
Patois.
And he would say things, and they would say, "We don't know what your dad is saying." Yeah. And so I grew up in this household with a multicultural household with a Southern belle. Mother was from North Carolina, dad from Jamaica, and I call it sort of the tension of opposites. Father was Republican, mother was Democratic. They just had very different ways of being and thinking. And so I think, as I think about reflecting on the experience, I think I grew up with this duality of being able to hold competing thoughts. And I have found that in my life, I have been in the middle a lot. We just talked about that before right? Being in the middle, mediating, creating space, creating the warm, soft landing for people that come with different issues and concerns and complaints, and I can hold that tension. So I, grew up in New York, spent time in North Carolina growing up. Parents got divorced when I was 8-ish. Went to North Carolina, thought I was on like a 5-year holiday. Oh my gosh, because my grandparents were so amazing. So spent time growing up there, and then moved back to New York to graduate from high school.
Wow.
Because I was like, wait a minute, my sister left North Carolina. Yeah. She's getting ready to be cool. I'm not. I'm going back. Yeah. So I moved back to New York, graduated from high school, last 2 years, and then went to North Carolina Central University for undergrad. Wow. First generation, parents did not go to college. My father was a hustler, right? He did the whole, had his own cleaning business, because Jamaicans do that, right? They do whatever they want to do. The cleaning business, worked at a hospital. I mean, he did all kinds, roots man. I mean, you name it. He was that.
You did everything.
He did it all. Now, my mother worked in the hospital. You may not have heard of this. It's called the Will Rogers Institute, Burke Rehabilitation Center in White Plains, New York. And that is a place where all of the stars went for medical care. So she's got this claim to fame of folks that she's met. They're really cool. And so,
who were some folks she met? I'm curious.
James Earl Jones.
Okay.
Not Batman. Superman.
She met Superman.
She met Superman. I'm trying to remember his name. Reeves.
My gosh.
Reeves.
Reeves something. I know you're talking about.
Yeah, his last name was Reeves.
Yeah.
She met him. Al Roker's mother. She was like, oh, she was a cutie. So she met quite a few people over the years, and she has these pictures of folks that she's met. And so, and then my dad, not to be forgotten, his claim to fame was so in his cleaning business, he used to clean the carpet for stars, and he would say, Yeah, I just cleaned Sidney Poitier's rugs, and he's got white rugs. Do you know who that is?
I do know who
Sidney,
that is.
okay.
Yeah, yeah,
All right,
yeah.
I was just like, oh, this is going to be over.
Oh,
I'm
no,
gonna get
no,
up and
I-
leave
no,
if
no,
you didn't know.
I knew who Sidney Poitier
Okay,
is.
so he did his rugs, and he always said he had the most beautiful white rugs.
A white rug.
Carpet, white
Yeah, yeah,
carpet.
yeah.
So yeah, so just I think like most of us, interesting life growing up, and then I went to Howard University for graduate school.
HBCU. There we go.
HU, the real HU,
Come on.
for sure, the real HU. And I got my master's and PhD in psychology, not clinical psychology, social psychology. So we asked the big questions. Did that and started. That was the beginning, really, of my well-being journey, because my research was on women and their predictors of life satisfaction. Like, what makes a woman at peace and satisfied in the middle of her life? And so that was really fun research. Did that, and then worked in. I'm kind of a almost overly practical person, so I'm getting my working on a PhD, and I'm thinking, where does a psychology student go for work? The American Psychological Association, of course. So I literally go there, and I'm like, I need a job. I'm a psychology major, and got hired on the spot, and that was also a lot of fun. Worked in the research office, and so that set a trajectory. So like nugget one, not that you've asked, but nugget one is really be thoughtful about that first job, your first gig, because oftentimes that sets the trajectory of your career. And so after that research job, I looked like a researcher. So then I worked at AARP and did research. And then I worked at NEA, member benefits, and did research. So I was a researcher for about 15 years. And then I I got this call saying that I applied for a job as a director of counseling at a higher education institution. And I actually don't think I finished the application because I was like, what am I doing? I don't think I could do this. And I did. And then I took that role, and I had a blast because the students, like, I was like, yep, we're all students. They keep you young. And it was just, I kind of got bit by the bug, the higher ed bug that gets into your skin. And you're like, I know that I can make a difference and support these young people. And so I did that, and then I got a call.
And who was on that call?
A recruiter to come to Western Washington University. And I know that's one of your questions, like, why did you come to Western? So here's the story. You ready?
I'm ready.
Okay. So I interviewed for a couple of places, and as it were, I got the offers the same week. Wow. One of the schools was in New York.
Okay.
I know.
Home.
And I was like, nope.
Why'd you say no?
It's too close. I wanted to do something that scared me. And I think that's really important to remind us that we're alive. That every once in a while, you need to do something that is just like terrifying. And it was kind of terrifying. And so when the recruiter called and talked to me about the job, she didn't really go into it. And I said, sure, I'll take a look. A week later, she calls and she's like, you didn't even look. And I was like, you are right. I didn't because I opened it and I saw I saw Washington State, and I thought, Washington State? I don't know anything about Washington State, so that's going to be a no.
Literally across from New York. The whole way.
It's from Washington to Washington, right? Because I was in Maryland, Washington. And so then I said, I'm going to take a look. So I actually opened it up and read it thoroughly and noticed Bellingham. And I had been to Washington State once. And where do you think that I had been? The one time I came to Washington State.
Was it Bellingham?
Was Bellingham.
Oh, man.
Oh, no.
Oh,
so I'm just like, ooh, do.
Putting the pieces together and everything.
Right,
You know what I mean?
It's a sign. So I thought, all right, because my cousin, and it wasn't for a happy occasion, though. I came to bury my first cousin. He was the baby. We called him Baby because we were a real complex set of characters. So we called him Baby, and he was military.
Wow.
He's military. And
Respect to your cousin for his service. Yeah, salute to him.
So came, did that funeral, and then went back. And then after which, I thought, I'm gonna give it a shot. And so that's how I ended up coming here. I thought if it was good enough for Lewis, that we call Baby, it's good enough for me to check out. And so when I did, shout out to Michael Sledge, who was my coordinator chair, and they rolled out the red carpet and has not disappointed. It has been an amazing experience, and mostly not because of the people that I work with necessarily, that I lead with, but because of people like you that I get to see grow. And I have seen you grow. Like you were a freshman, I think, when we met, like 2019.
Yeah. That's
when I came. So we've grown
together. That's crazy. We have grown together.
We have. And so that is the reason why I sing. That's my thing. Like, I really love the energy that the students bring, the endless curiosity, the not knowing what direction, what they're going to bring to you when they come in, and the hope, the hope for the future just gives me life.
Wow. That is powerful. That is absolutely powerful. What was so that one time that you were here in Bellingham, what was that impression like? Because it seemed like you weren't as excited and proud after that first impression, but what was kind of going to that? When
I first came to Bellingham, I want to say it was 2015. It was, so in some ways it was a blur. Because of the reason I was here for the funeral. So in some ways it was a blur. But I remember it being rainy.
Classic.
I know. Classic. It's like, ooh, go figure. I remember it being rainy, just the drizzle, not heavy rain. And I don't know where I was driving, but I remember trees and really tall trees. And I was like, I know I'm not in the Redwood Forest, but I just remembered lots and lots and lots of trees, people with the funeral, just mixed, it was a mixed race funeral with my cousin and his family. And I just remember lots of people and it being a blur. I mostly remember keeping my eyes on my first cousin, my cousin Valerie, who came to bury her brother. I mostly remember watching her, just making sure she's okay. So that is really kind of my memory, just making sure that she was okay. Yeah. But it was good enough. I mean, it was good enough of an impression for me to come back and check it out. And boy, am I glad that I did.
Oh, absolutely. And on the students end, I'm sure I'm speaking for almost all the students you've interacted with. Your impact has been so cool. I mean, I still remember, 2 years ago when you came to BSU and you were teaching us those breathing techniques. In the winter of 2022, where we were switching back and forth between online, in person.
I remember.
That was probably my worst quarter ever, too.
Really?
Oh, yeah. It was crazy because we were just all over the place.
We were.
Yeah.
And did the breathing help?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Helped you get through.
My roommate thought I was kind of weird. They were like, "What are you doing? Are you doing namaste or something like that? Some yoga stuff?" But I was doing it. Yeah, it really helped. Absolutely. But kind of like that kind of impact that you had, because you would walk into a room, you'd walk into the MCC, and people would be like, "Oh, Sislena's here." Oh my goodness, because you have such a bright and hopeful, like, you're a person that a lot of black students can talk to when they're under stress.
Yeah, I love that. And the school that I worked at before this was an HBCU. And I just remember thinking, I love all students. And I can relate specifically to the black student experience. And I am here for it. And so part of what really gives me joy is being able to remind the students that are here how important they are and how they are as unique as their fingerprint and how their voice really matters in all spaces. And so while I am absolutely grateful for the experience of all of the students that I come in contact with, the Black and brown students that come for me, which is typically what happens, that come for me, that pull me in, give me purpose for being here. Yeah. So it's an honor that I'm always honored when the BSU or the BSO invite me over to talk, to breathe, to just kind of to be with.
Absolutely.
It's an honor.
Absolutely. So Sislena, I've had so many of my friends, even myself, like coming in, you know, it's not the easiest when you come into a space where, you know, you're here for school, you're here to do that. That's your number one thing. But obviously, you know, you don't see people that look like you. I mean, you go to get food, you don't see anyone that look like you. The only time you do is when you're either in a BSU space or something, or with your homies. I guess, how were you able to, because I know you kind of came here after college and stuff, so you were kind of used to that, but coming from New York, a very diverse place, how were you able to, I guess, be able to adjust to the lack of diversity here and not let that get to you?
So I think a couple things. One, I'm still adjusting because it's not easy. I think that I have found Bellingham to be quite an insular community. And what I mean by that is, if you did not come up here, or you have not been here for 15 or 20 years, which a lot of people that I work with have been in this area for a long time, that finding community has to be intentional. Like, you can't just hang out and see people and you just start kicking it. It doesn't happen so organically as it does when you are in a place where there are many people like you that would just naturally gravitate to you for any number of reasons.
Exactly.
That doesn't often happen here. I am fortunate in that I've found a small group of people that I've connected with in the community, particularly in the Black community. I've connected with a group of people. There aren't that many folks on campus that are Black or brown. So, you know, when you want to just kind of let your hair down and vent and talk about what it means to be a woman of color in a place that is so white, sometimes that is, you don't feel like you have that space to do it. And so I will, you know, what I often do is I create the community. I lean on friends and will share with them some of the struggles, particularly during the COVID season. That was really rough for me because I was overseeing COVID operations and just the COVID ops, right? That was my team, COVID ops. And so even though I have I love the team, the operations team became like family away from family, home away from home, because I spent so much time with those people. It was still hard. It was still hard because I had to be on. It felt like all the time. I just had to be on because, you know, it felt like, you know, from 8 a.m. to 8 p.m. every day. Trying to make sure that students were safe and all the operations were happening. So finding community outside is been what I've had to do. The adjustment process is it's a work in progress. You know, I think I'm still adjusting.
It's a never-ending journey, really, is it?
So, I think I'm still adjusting.
And COVID, speaking of COVID was a big motivator for me to be more intentional with finding community, because I don't know if you remember me too much, but freshman year I was just a little kid, you know, just new, just nervous, you know what I mean? BSU was always a blast, but I never wanted, I wanted to be a part of BSU and other stuff. But I let fear a lot hold me in, and lack of diversity. But COVID came, and then I was like spending so much time with myself. I was just like,
Oh, is that right?
I need to get out and do stuff. Yeah, that's part of the reason I became like president of BSU. Because I think that space just allowed me to reflect and be like, all right, let's see what really matters in life. And, you know, I don't want to let fear hold me back from certain opportunities and then look back in college and be like, man,
That is it.
you know,
That is it.
so.
Well, because that's what, I mean, you just illustrated beautifully. This is going to sound morbid, but end of life research,
Yeah.
which talks about people regretting not the things that they did, but the things that they didn't do.
Right on.
Right?
Yep.
And so it is really about doing those things. And I imagine that some of the things that you did actually scared you.
Oh,
Did
yeah.
any of the things?
Oh, everything did.
Oh, that's great.
The first BSU meeting we had, we couldn't get the TV to work. The pizza was late. We had a board member that was stuck in
I
traffic.
love that. Yes.
Oh my gosh, yeah.
And you were in charge.
And I was in charge.
Ah!
And there's already 50 people
Oh my
with
goodness.
5 minutes to go. The old board is there, so the seniors are there, and I'm like,
Oh my goodness.
man, it was math season, so thankfully people
Oh,
weren't
they
seeing my
couldn't see
facial.
the facial expressions.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it worked out. It worked
It
out.
did.
But man, like, it's those kind of moments that, like, in the moment, it doesn't feel good, but afterwards you grow.
It is so true. You
You know?
do. You do.
Which I'm sure you've had plenty of those kind of moments.
Yeah,
in
like
life.
growing through adversity, growing through pain, and it's like if it doesn't challenge you, then you're probably not growing. It's like pushing through the soil, the plant that has to you have to break through that
Right.
barrier
Right.
in order to spring forward. And so,
Yeah.
and certainly that experience during that 2 years, which we thought was going to be 2 weeks. Imagine that.
I still have that email.
Right? Oh, you do? Do you?
We'll be back in 2 weeks. 2 weeks is 2 years.
I know, but I just still remembered that nobody knew what was happening, and we were just like
Yeah.
making it up as we went along.
Yeah.
And I think we did pretty good.
I think so too.
I think we did.
Let's transition to kind of hopes and
Okay.
vision for Western. You've been in Western here now. This is 5th year going on.
5, yeah.
Almost 5 years.
Almost.
What do you, I guess, like, if there was like a perfect WW, if that even existed,
Yeah.
in terms of diversity, in terms of
Yeah.
just like, if you had a vision for Western, what does that vision look like?
You know, so that is a really good question and a big question. I have had the opportunity to sort of be what I'm calling the well-being czar, right? And introducing the Okanagan Charter in 2021 is a highlight for me, because essentially what that does is it says we want the people, the places that they occupy, and the planet around us that we, breathe, the air we breathe, excuse me, to be healthy, so that we can dwell together. I'm reminded, that question reminds me also of Vivek Murthy's research on loneliness. And one of the joys that I'm experiencing right now is the ability to take the framework, so this Okanagan Charter, this well-being charter, and this context of our Surgeon General talking about loneliness, putting them together as I go out to talk to students about what their hopes and dreams are, which would be mine. And one of the recurring themes is connection. Like, I think that the entire world went through a traumatic experience like never before, right? And we were being fed on IV drip, all of this theater on television, which I think made this so much worse than anything that the world had experienced like before.
Yeah.
And so when I think about Western, and all of the conflict that because we exist in an ecosystem, right? So all of the things that are spiraling around us, my hope is that we will continue to weed through all of the clutter and focus on what really matters. All of the clutter of what's going on out in the world, and really drill down to the human that sits across from you, and do everything that you can do to make sure that that person doesn't feel disconnected, doesn't feel lonely.
Wow.
That we take care of each other.
Yeah.
There's this saying, take care of the heart and the mind will follow. I really believe that. I know that our mission is academic. I know that we have an academic mission. We have a mission to serve students, the whole student, so that they can grow and thrive and be amazing citizens of Washington State and beyond. That is our, and I'm paraphrasing. I'm sure that's not what it says on the website.
Something like that.
Something like that. But at the heart of that, I think what this pandemic has reminded me of is that we are really charged to take care of each other. That's first. That comes first.
Before academics.
Before all of it. Because if you, and when I say taking care of each other, I'm also including faculty and staff. Because if we are putting our most treasured, valued asset, our students, our treasures, in front of people that are hurting, that are broken, that have been ignored for their trauma, who are not taken care of, who are not being thought of, or who are being thought of as an afterthought, that's not the work. The work has to involve all of us. It's people, places, and the planet. People includes people. And so I think I would like for us to handle each other in a more, in a kinder way. I think that just inherent in higher ed, you've got the academic side and you've got the staff and then, staff and faculty and administration. And I think that just because of the way this whole shared governance, the way it's set up, oftentimes there's dissension.
Yeah.
I don't know. I could be a little utopian, but I would like to see more cohesive relationships throughout our campus. I would like to see students working closely in a way that doesn't juxtapose them against administration, but makes them walk hand in hand and modeling like what we're doing here.
Yeah.
I would love to see that as a model. So
As an open dialogue between the two.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
I would love to see when there is conflict in the world, or conflict in Bellingham, or conflict on Western's campus, or conflict in our classroom. I would love to be able to stand boldly in that space, right squarely in that discomfort,
Yeah.
and say, let's talk about it.
Right.
How can we do that in a way that is not shrouded by our fear? Because it is uncomfortable to talk about things that are painful. But to the extent that we can master that and do that better, I think we create bridges of wholeness for folks. And we don't graduate fractured students.
Yeah.
And we don't, wounded, fractured students that don't want to come back, and they don't want to give back, and they don't want to support. And, and I think in some ways we have that. And I would like to see that change very much.
And that's a great change. I mean, just like you said, I think there's a lot of times like world issues matter. They do matter. But I see so much, emphasis on that when we have so many problems here at Western.
Right.
That when we don't address those, then we're already divided, and now we're trying to be united on other stuff.
That's right.
And that just causes chaos. I mean, if you remember, there was a group, I think, that Boeing came in last quarter, and there was a group protesting the war that was happening in Israel and Hamas.
Yeah.
And two of my professors were in a meeting with Boeing, and the students came down. They found out they were in the VU, and they paraded around them as they were sitting at the table, and they had like red paint, and they would like put the red paint on the table to like mark like the genocide and stuff that was happening. And I think I had a class with one of my professors afterwards. He came in, he was just all like startled and everything. Like, I think there's a way to like protest and do that, but when we're kind of like dividing up, like you said, faculty and students, and we're not united here,
That's right.
that just brings more problems, in my opinion.
Yeah, I think it does. And I think the bottom line is that when parents send their students here,
Yeah.
I think their number one, I think they appreciate that our number one priority is to make sure that they're healthy and that they're safe. And so, despite the fact that there are absolutely atrocities happening all over the globe, and when Sislena comes to work, she has to make sure that she does everything that she can, because I can't guarantee safety to anybody, right? I can't do that.
No, you can't.
But I can do everything that I can to make sure that you're safe.
Wow.
And that is where, when you are charged with the duty or responsibility of well-being for a campus, I think it's sacred. And I think you have to be able to drill down and block out and compartmentalize in some way so that you can make sure that folks have the freedom to say, to do, to be, and they need to also be safe.
There we go. There we go.
Yeah.
Sislena, to wrap up,
Yes.
and I know you've kind of dropped a few nuggets here and
Yeah.
there throughout this episode, but what advice would you give to the younger generation?
Right. So, play hard and play without your devices. Play together, connect, find ways to play in analog. So I think I would absolutely start there, find ways to play in analog. And then the other is one that I've mentioned a couple of times here, is to do something that challenges you and that scares you, that comes from your spirit. Now I'm talking about good things, right? But do something that scares you. Step outside of that box that often we think other people are putting us in, but it's often we're putting ourselves in
there.
We put ourselves in those boxes. And then I think if there's a third thing, it might be to run towards failure. Because if you can get lots and lots of experience failing, if you can really get over that, that's where the genius shows up. You just gotta be able to say, oh, that didn't work, gotta keep it moving. And so one of the things I have said to even my boys is, I would love for you, one of your first jobs, to be in sales. Why do you think I would say that?
Oh, there's a lot of failure.
Lots of failure.
Lots of failure.
And
Cold
lots
calls.
of cold calls, and people hang up on you, and they're rude, but it makes your skin tough, right? And I think that rejection, especially early rejection, is good for the soul. It stinks. It hurts. It doesn't feel good. But if you can overcome that, then that you get it out of the way, and you are able to climb taller mountains, because you're not leading with your emotions. You're not leading with your feelings. They're not out on display because you've never been hurt before, right? You want to be able to, and so I periodically will push all of my kids into positions and into spaces that are terrifying, right? You're afraid of, what is that thing you're afraid of? You're afraid of public speaking or whatever, go for it and do it. And I have a son now who just spoke in front of thousands of Washington State area directors.
No way. What does he do?
He is, what does he do? He does a lot. I live in his shadow. So all my kids are pretty amazing. This is the youngest one who's with me now. The other two are off in college, but he is he is a member of the Ferndale School Board.
Wow.
And he is now chair of the Washington State area directors for all the students in Washington State.
Wow.
And so part of why I'm really proud of that is because whenever so you know how parents think, you think guardrails, I've got to give my kids guardrails, or I very seldom said no. I very, very seldom said no. And if I wanted to say no, it was just a closer watch. Like, I think I've mastered the eye. Like, I could give a cut, or I could give her whatever. But I very seldom say no, because I want them to experience what it's like to be in a space, and I didn't want to project my fear of what that thing that they wanted to do on them. And so I'm pretty fearless young men, 3 boys. But this one is just like he used to say when he was a kid. He was like, my goal is to beat the other 2.
Wow.
That's it. He was like, that's all I want to do. I just want to win, Mom. I just want to beat the other 2. So yeah, so he, he did something that was quite courageous the other day, speaking in front of this huge
Incredible. Wow.
Yeah, at 17. And so, yeah, so I encourage students to do things, and I was just sharing with you that the idea of being consistent is the magic. It's the magic. If you just keep showing up, so save this episode.
It's going to be saved for sure.
Just keep showing up.
Yeah.
It is going to blow your mind at where this construct of consistency will take you. And so I say to my sons who are like, yeah, I want to get my PhD because you got your PhD or whatever. And I'm like, you know what? If you don't stop, you can get one. It's not really about being smart. It's about not stopping.
Y'all heard that?
It is
powerful stuff right there.
Right. It's about not stopping.
Yeah. There we go. There we go.
Well,
hope y'all enjoyed this episode. Before we close out, any last minute comments, anything you want to plug, anything you're working on? Where can students find you?
Where students can find me on Sislena.Ledbetter at www.edu. Also, 5th floor in Old Main, 563A. I'm trying to where's my office? 563A. You can find me there. And walking around. So I'm getting out more. So I hope that if a student sees me, that they will stop me and say, hey, I heard you in this episode, and this is the part I liked, or whatever. Just stop me when you see me. I love engaging with students.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
Beautiful.
Absolutely.
What a treat. There's a treat for y'all. Happy 2024.
Happy 2024.
Thank you, Sislena, for coming on.
Thank you for having me. This was amazing.
Thank you. Y'all stay tuned for more awesome episodes as season 3 rolls on, and we'll catch y'all on the very next one. Peace.
All right. Peace out.
What is up, y'all? Thank you so much for tuning in to that episode. Make sure to click the subscribe, follow button, as well as the bell to get notified on all my new content that is coming out every Wednesday and every other day. And make sure to click that link in the description down below to get access to all my socials and any other platforms that I have my podcast on. And until next time, y'all, peace.